Hi, good morning and welcome. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I guess these are rather strange times, to be very honest with you. The purpose of this channel, and I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in Kandivli, and I used to live in Borivali and Andheri, because I had an uncle's house in Andheri. So the purpose of this channel is basically remembering those old days that have gone. I just visited India lately, and I just thought that if each of our memories was stored on a leaf or a petal of a flower, then these people have wiped out the entire garden. Okay, so it's very early morning where I am, and it's around 5:30 in the morning. I've just woken up and I thought I should shave before I do a video, because that's a good thing to do. Now the thing is, it's been a long time. Though the year was 1973, it's been a long time. I feel that more changes have happened in the last 40 years than the entire human history. But we would be the second best actually, because then there was those people who were born in the 1900s who saw aeroplanes and World War I and World War II and the whole Industrial Revolution, the trains that came in, reinventing the wheel. So we are not as good as them or as bad, or we haven't been hit so badly by development, but I do feel that more changes have happened in the last 40 years, and we are than the entire history of humankind. We are the second best actually, to be very honest. So I feel that there was a time in the 70s when we used to have a Bal Bharati, and I'm talking about people who lived in Bombay and had books that came from Pune board, and the books were called Bal Bharati, and it had a picture of a boy and a girl studying together, and all the Bal Bharatis that they were had the same picture in different hue and different saturation. And we had the most amazing textbooks. Now if I look at the textbooks today, even if they are the same textbooks, I feel that they have lost that character. Sometimes they put glossy pictures in between, page 65 and page 130 is a glossy insert, and I feel that they had perfected it then. Even our history book had a glossy insert of Akbar the Great and what have you. But my first book I remember was Bal Bharati, and it had Tim and Minnie and Mrs. Menon, and they had drawn a picture of a lamp which was either in Calcutta or in Madras, and this was Mario Miranda the Great. I mean, I've seen lots of artists in my life, but I've never seen someone like Mario Miranda. And I think that Mario Miranda was our Picasso. And he had a very unique style. And he's a part of our childhood, basically, So we had Mario Miranda, who had drawn at the end of the 3rd standard Bal Bharati book, "Home for the holidays, here we go, Please, Mr. Engineer, go exceedingly slow," etc., etc. And that whole tunnel that they had drawn, and the train is coming out of the tunnel and kids are waving to the train. It was a mind-blowing picture. And then he had drawn Dhondu and the rotten eggs, where there was a guy called Dhondu, and he went to sell a goat or something, and eventually kept on underselling himself and got some rotten eggs in the end. And there was a rich man who liked his story and laughed. He hadn't laughed for many years. In the olden days, there were stories of people who haven't laughed for many years. Princesses that haven't laughed for many years. Princesses that haven't woken up for many years. For many years, some sort of coronavirus would strike them, and it is a fitting time in history now to talk about that more than ever, because not many people have PDFs of Bal Bhartis, not many people have PDFs of history books, not many people have the original books left, At the end of the year, we would go to the waste paper mart, and sell our books. And the guy would sometimes undercut us and what have you. But he would just put a stone there. That was ridiculous. And then he would give us 17 rupees for all the books. And sometimes I would keep the textbooks, because suddenly, as soon as the last day, as soon as the exam ends, as soon as is the last day and you come home and you feel that freedom, and the summer is just coming in. I mean, this is end of March, beginning of April, and the sun has suddenly shines at 5:30 in the afternoon. It looks like afternoon and not evening, In India, we always say 5:30 is evening. But it looks like 5:30 in the afternoon. The sun is still up there. It's beautiful. It's slightly warmer. Holi has just passed, and the winds have become slightly warm. And those were the days where it was not so polluted. In every building, there was just one or two people who owned a car. And I mean, this is what it is all about. It's going to be a lot of nostalgia. And I'm hoping to have 100 episodes of this, but this is just the beginning. So just let me give you some examples. I mean, before I studied in Don Bosco, Borivali, I was studying in St. Francis, which is 4 kilometers away from my house. And there was a guy called Vijay, and in the very first standard, my mother told me that, I should take the BST bus, not the school bus. And somehow I got into that mode where I didn't need a school bus and I was okay taking it. We had our own family history, and I will get into that as years pass. But Vijay used to walk, okay? And Vijay was a Sindhi, so he was some Chandani. I don't think he was Bidi Chandani. I think he was Makhani, Vijay Makhani. And he used to walk, and I didn't even know what walk meant. And I said, Vijay, how are you going? Because my mom had given me 10 paise for the bus ticket, and it cost 5 paise because I was junior, so it was half ticket. And I would end up eating those. I would use that money to have some batata vadas, which had some dal chutney. And for 5 paise, he would give me 2 vadas, and they were really tasty vadas. And he had a chutney made out of dal. It looked like dal, and it had this sour taste. And I still remember it because he sold it bang opposite St. Francis School, which was the main gate of St. Francis, faced the church, the famous church. So there were 2 churches. There was a chapel on the hill, and then there was a church right there. So sorry, I've just woken up, so I cannot think very, very clearly. But so we walked 4 kilometers, and it was a beautiful experience. And he would say that I'm going to go walking, and I was like, what is walking? He says, chal ke ja raha hu, chal ke jaunga. So I thought that's a great idea. And it was 4 kilometers, and it would take us around 30 minutes. But I was so lethargic as you can see, those were the Bombay times. I was so lethargic in the way I walked, and in the way I got home, even with the bus, that I would inevitably miss the bus. Always I would miss the bus. And on the way to school, the bus would always stop at our school gate. They would do so voluntarily. But on the way back, we had to go somewhere else, and it was complicated. And my mother did not come to know that I had walked. She didn't know. And I remember the first time I walked was when there was Navratri. And that's a story best left for another day. But thank you for listening. And if you like what I'm saying, you can, press the bell and subscribe and like, do whatever you want. It's your click. It's your life. My name is Sunil Varma. Please have a great day.